Guys, we're making history. July 2025, Congress started pushing 3 digital asset regulation laws that are pivotal in pushing the United States and the rest of the world into a new digital economy that may be to our benefit or to the benefit of the technocratic state. The Genius Act, already signed into law, it makes the US dollar blockchain compatible through private stablecoin issuers like banks, corporations, and payment networks, while also requiring transparency on reserves, 100% backing of reserves from these issuers. The Clarity Act is the next one. So this one passed the House. It's not passed into law yet, and it defines which crypto assets are securities versus commodities. And this gives clearer rules to companies and investors while assigning each class of assets to be regulated by either the SEC or CFTC. And the last one, which I'm particularly excited about, and it's the topic of this video, is the Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Act. This one is not a law yet, but it did pass the House, and it's a big one because it would ban the Federal Reserve from ever issuing a CBDC, or central bank digital currency. And if you don't know what that is, it's programmable money that can be attached to potentially a social credit score. It's a bad thing. People don't want it. Together, these laws are designed to modernize the US dollar, give the crypto industry legal clarity, and block the creation of a government-controlled digital currency. At least, that's what we're being told is going to happen. See, things do look optimistic after the House did pass the Anti-CBDC Act. However, a representative from the House, Marjorie Taylor Greene, feels that something is off about this bill, and it might not have enough votes from the Senate to pass. Take a look.
Right now, what is being voted on today in Congress is the entire setup, groundwork, and entire infrastructure being laid to move from cash to digital currency. And the number one thing that is not happening today is a ban on a central bank digital currency. This means the ability for the government to take control of your digital bank account where all your money is and turn it off. And this is why I'm so upset and it's not being talked about. Steve, I was the only no vote on the rule last night. And Congress set a record last night, and no one's talking about that either. This was the longest vote held open for a rule in history. And it finally shut down sometime around midnight because there was a deal made, and the deal will not be honored. It was a deal that Speaker Johnson made, and he said that he would put a ban on central bank digital currency in the NDAA. But let me tell you something, that's going to get stripped out in the Senate because what they told us all week long is the Senate does not have the votes to pass a ban on a central bank digital currency. So I want to lay this out straight for you all. You never thought in your lifetime that the government would shut you down, would close your churches, would close your schools, would close your business. And that happened only a few years ago. But what is happening today is the groundwork is being laid, and it's all in the name of cryptocurrency and stablecoin, but it is the entire regulatory process to switch us from cash to a cashless society to digital currency that can be controlled by the federal government. And there will be no ban on a central bank digital currency. There will be no way to protect your ability to fully control your digital currency in the future. And I'm voting no to this today. I don't know if there'll be any other no votes on the Republican side, but I'm voting no to this because I'm a Christian and I've read the Bible and I believe what Revelations 13:16-17 says. And I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
So she's warning that this final gate before this can become a law, the Senate, does not have enough votes to be able to make the Anti-CBDC Act happen, which is very concerning, considering all of this crypto regulation is passing the Genius Act and the Clarity Act. The last one we need is the Anti-CBDC Act to be able to solidify the fact that this is going to work in potentially the favor of the plebs. But if this bill does not pass to stop the Federal Reserve from creating a digital surveillance currency, we're screwed. It's over. It's China. It would leave the door wide open for the Fed to issue its own CBDC, one that could potentially track all of your purchases, block transactions deemed unapproved, be programmed to expire, and even be tied to a social credit system. Programmed to expire is really scary, because imagine things get so bad in the economy that everybody needs welfare, everybody needs UBI or universal basic income. And the people who sign up for this universal basic income would get a certain amount of money every month. Let's say it's $1,000, for example. Let's say you spend $750 of that money. Well, the rest of the money you have in that bank account by the end of the month that you think you are going to save and possibly invest into something later disappears and is refreshed with an entirely new balance for the next month. So every month, let's just say you get $1,000. And if you don't spend that money by the end of the month, it disappears and is replaced with a new $1,000. This will not allow you to save money and be able to invest in things to become richer. It makes it so there's an expiry date on the money that you received. And this central bank digital currency that's programmable has the ability to do this. Now, if you watched my last video, you know that Donald Trump and his crypto czar David Sachs at the Genius signing ceremony were talking about a blockchain dollar, a digital dollar that will be created through the Genius Act. And you might be wondering, what's the difference between a CBDC and this digital dollar? Well, the main fundamental difference that I can think of is that the digital dollar is not programmable. Like we mentioned earlier about the $1,000 disappearing from your bank account every month and being refurbished with a new balance. It's not a possibility with the digital dollar. But if the CBDC Act, the anti-CBDC Act rather, doesn't pass, the infrastructure is in place to create this programmable money and attach it to a social credit system. A CBDC could potentially be combined with this Real ID that I also made a video about. The Real ID has an infrastructure built into it that would allow the government under a certain circumstance of calamity to remove your rights, not only to be able to not fly on a plane or enter a government building, but potentially stop you from getting into a college, stop you from owning a gun, stop you from doing a lot of other things, take away your rights depending on the circumstance. I made a video about this. You can check it out up there somewhere. But the point is, the infrastructure that is being built is clear by the laws that are being passed. And if the anti-CBDC Act doesn't pass, it's very easy to attach it to this surveillance system of, let's say, the Real ID or any other system of social credit to make it so this money can not only be disappearing from your bank account every month, but also be easily confiscated from you, depending on the circumstance. So when a member of Congress like Marjorie Taylor Greene comes out and says the Senate might not have enough votes to pass this anti-CBDC law, it's a big deal. And if she's right, then my speculation is that this is all part of the grand plan to usher in a new digital system, a technocratic state. Not only to be able to compete with China and the BRICS system and to make the dollar more efficient, but to usher in a new era of surveillance and control. But that's all I have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you think this bill is going to pass or not. Let's pray it does. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay vigilant. I love you guys.